I would like to welcome you guys to Legal Wars Live, man. It's your boy Big Ghost Rider. You know what I'm saying? Doing what I do. You guys already know what I do, and if you don't know what I do, you guys will know what I do in a short amount of time. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is episode number 73. We are in the Upper West Side of Manhattan, man. You know what I'm saying? The Tax the Rich tour, man. That's what episode is on, man. Been on the tour, man, in the state of New York for about 9 months. You see what I'm saying? Been in the city of New York for about 5 weeks, man. You know what I'm saying? I live my life like I don't care about your opinions. You see what I'm saying? Your opinions with me cost you money. That's what your opinions cost me. People try to play games with me. You see what I'm saying? Like, they want to play life chess with me and I tax them. You see what I'm saying? Because I'm not going to argue with you for free. I don't care about your opinion. Go tell your opinion to your mama, to your wife, to the military recruiter, whoever you got it to. Go tell it to NYPD. Tell your opinion to whoever you got to tell your opinion. But when you talking to me, we go to a judge. So go find the judge and tell your opinion to the judge and see if he cares. Because that's where we go when I deal with, you could call the mayor, you could call President Trump, but I'm saying I'm going to take you to a judge because that's what I do. I'm a document preparer, bro. I'm a litigator, one of the best paralegals. And I want to start off by saying that, letting it be understood, man. I saw some negativity down below in the comments, man. I'm sorry if you don't like me, man. I'm sorry if I rub you the wrong way. You see what I'm saying? No one is telling you to tune in to Legal Wars Live or to check out Big Ghost Rider. You know what I'm saying? And that being said, man, I could jump right from that point right there and we could go straight into the content because I feel like the content kind of connects. You know what I'm saying? What do you have to prove? What do I have to prove? Everything I just told y'all in the introduction, what do I have to prove? I come into the live stream, somebody being negative in the comments. What do I have to prove? What do I have to prove to you? You understand that? What does President Trump have to prove? What do we have to prove to the Europeans? What do we have to prove to the Canadians and Mexicans? What does President Trump have to prove to the American people, to his constituents, MAGA people? What do we have to prove to all the disinfected Republicans like Tucker Carlson and Candace Owens and like we talked about yesterday, Nick Fuentes? What does President Trump have to prove to the Iranians, to the Russians? What does he have to prove to the Chinese? You see what I'm saying? And then let's look at the opposite side of it. What does the Iranians have to prove? What do the Iranians have to prove to the Chinese? What do the Iranians have to prove to the Russians? What do the Iranians have to prove to the American people, to their own people? What do they have to prove? I think that's what this is all about. What do they have to prove? Let me get to the news and we'll go further from there. So in Iran, finally, 4 months after he's dead, the Iranians are carrying out with the funeral of their slain leader, the supreme leader. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm thinking, okay, so he's been dead for 4 months. I guess this is the first time that they found like they could come out of hiding long enough. Okay, we got these crazy Americans and these crazy Israelis to the point to where at least they're like sitting back and forth talking to us at a table, and we know it's in their greater benefit not to continue this conflict. Iran knows that. The Chinese, the Russians, the whole world knows that. It's in America's greater interest at home. It's in the world's greater interest. It's against the population. If you poll the population of the world like you do in America, which Ipsos attempted to do, Reuters, they're trying to do this, it's against the interests of the people of the world to fight this conflict. That's point blank period. You see what I'm saying? The Iranians know this. President Trump know this. But the news is that finally they feel like they got some kind of, where they feel like You know, the Israelis and the Americans, they just snuck and killed their supreme leader. I'm saying this how the Iranians feel now. You know what I'm saying? And after you kill our supreme leader, every time we try to lift our hand, I mean, we in the middle of negotiating and talking, here you go, you kill us again. Like they feel like they being hunted. I'm saying at this funeral, this is the first time the top commander of the IRGC came out in public. First time. First time. At this funeral, this is the first time we seen the other three sons of Khamenei who's still alive. The first time. We hadn't seen the current supreme leader. And I'm saying we got a funeral going on in Iran, and this is what got my attention. Okay, we understand it's been 4 months and they just now doing the death of the supreme leader, the funeral, but this is what I got my attention. And I'm thinking the Iranians, they lying about this. I'm thinking 25 million people, that's an estimate, 25 million people at the funeral of a slain what we thought or what we were labeled a terrorist leader. And you talking about 25 million people at his funeral? That's amazing. Like I'm thinking that couldn't be true. But then I listened to or watched CNN and I heard someone break it down. He's an expert in the field. I listen to the experts in the field. I might think I'm smarter than everybody, but I know that I'm not. So I listened to the people who's smarter than me in that topic. And he said, listen, he said, you expect 5, 10, 15 million Iranians to come. That's what I had said on the live stream. When I heard him break it down like that, I knew he was telling the truth. 5, 10, 15 million Iranians to come. He was talking about how much support the IRGC, the supreme leader, had from the people. He said about 20% of the people support him. You looking at 90-something, 100 million people. So you could see 20 million Iranians show up. That's astounding still, if that many show up. But the first 2 days, you got hundreds of thousands of Iranians coming to mourn their supreme leader. And amongst the casket, you see a baby casket. We're going to talk about the baby casket we see at the funeral. I mean, you know what I'm saying? At first, 4 months later, they feel like, this the first time they feel comfortable to where they could do his funeral. And they could bring all the leaders out and maybe President Trump and them won't kill him. And then after that, we think 25 million people at the funeral. That's astounding. We're going to get back to that. How popular is this dude really? Can he really pull that many people, even if they his own people? Can President Trump pull that many of his own people for a funeral? Anybody. But what I'm saying is, amongst the caskets at this funeral, I'm thinking about is this baby casket. I'm just telling y'all the things that stood out to me about this funeral. It's important that we pay attention to these things. A baby casket. Whose casket is that? Oh. That's the grandson of the supreme leader, the dead one. That's the son of the current dismembered supreme leader. His child or daughter, his child is dead. Yeah. So you telling me that the current supreme leader is nowhere to be found. But he's got to be watching this on state TV, just like the rest of the world. And the rest of the world on state TV, they are mourning the death of his father and the death of one of his children at the same time. I'm saying, how can these people ever love America? How can he ever even make a deal with? The only deal he's going to make with you is for his own interests. He'll never serve your interests. You see what I'm saying? Never. I'm saying you would expect, this is highly charged for them. I mean, they laying to rest their supreme leader. You would expect threats to be made, and the IRGC chief made threats at America. I'm saying, to me, that don't serve his interests. And I mean, no one over here is really afraid of his threats. You see what I'm saying? No one in America is. But I'm just saying, if you think about that at a greater picture, I mean, look at what this dude, they say he disfigured. We doing a stream later on today at 2 p.m. Eastern time about the supreme leader of Iran, the current one. Is he alive or is he dead? No one's seen him. They hadn't even heard his voice. He won't even let his voice be heard. Is he afraid? He disfigured? I'm saying if the man say, I don't know the disfigurement say he don't have a leg or he don't have an arm. He watched a state funeral, his daddy and his baby's dead. Yeah, he gotta be mad. He gotta hate America more than any other nation on earth, any other people. He is the worst enemy of America, but I promise you there is a fear of America that dwells within that man. There's a fear. Because he understands the consequence. I believe he could possibly very well be alive, and we're going to talk about that more in depth later. I believe he can be. I just believe, just think about it. You put yourself in that situation. I'm saying they just assassinate people. You got to think about the Israelis, the beeper attack before that. The Israelis, y'all remember the beeper attack? Before the Israelis got into this larger conflict with Iran? You see what I'm saying? The Israelis been what they call cutting off the head of the snake. They've been knocking off leaders. They've been doing this. So I'm saying they sit down for negotiations. They think they finna try to hustle President Trump. President Trump start dropping bombs, start killing their leaders. And I'm saying your daddy dead, your baby dead. I'm saying and then you disfigured. I'm saying you disfigured. They said he might be severely or mildly disfigured. I'm saying who knows, because he won't even let no one hear his voice. I believe he's alive. I believe he's just terrified. All the conditions are there for the current supreme leader to be that terrified to where he won't come out in public, because he probably thinks that the Israelis don't care about what President Trump's saying. They're going to kill him anyway. You see what I'm saying? But maybe before long he'll come out in public, but that's not what we talking about, man. We talking about the Iranians mourning their leader's death. And as they mourn their leader's death, we want to look at different things. We want to look at the different symbolism, you know what I'm saying, within the proceedings over a week. So to this point, hundreds of thousands of people have showed up at his funeral. You know what I'm saying? And this is every day. I'm sure it will come down to the last days. That's when we're going to see the most people. I'm pretty sure that's how it works or how it goes. You see what I'm saying? They said the Iranians are on guard, tight security. I was like, tight security? How you got tight security for this event? You know what I'm saying? Listen, if you're saying the Iranians have tight security for this event, this is what I want you to think of. I want you to think of their government. Their government on high alert. They said the Iranian IRGC, of course, was on high alert. That's their army. You see what I'm saying? They talked about their Navy, their Air Force. I'm saying you would think after all the destruction that was caused by the United States of America, yet and still, they're able to put on an event for the entire world in which they say they could expect 20 to 25 million people to show up. I'm saying, has the Iranian government been destroyed that much or that bad? Have they really been destroyed? They still organized. I'm saying them putting on the funeral, that's showing you they still organized. They still have systems intact. They still have a chain of command. Everything's still there. Their supreme leader and a couple of other leaders is dead, and that's it. And a couple of buildings are flattened, but the Gulf state said they're going to give them $300 million. I'm sure that's going to pay for that and more. You see what I'm saying? They're getting sanctions. I'm saying in the end, if you look at the picture, the Iranians are coming up on top in this situation. And if you look at the picture and you talking about 25 million people in this, so I stopped and think, I said, hey, listen, so if President Trump died, I know how popular he was when he was alive, that there would be 25 million people show up at his funeral, right? Has to be. But I'm saying whether or not we know that or not, what I'm saying is this. I'm saying I started thinking about that deeper because I couldn't figure that out. I'm saying there'll be a lot of people show up. You don't know how many. Look at JFK when he died. I'm talking about it was a whole lot of people all over the country. They want to come out and mourn the slain leader. We just hadn't experienced that in America in a long time. But what I'm trying to say is, I was thinking about it this. I was thinking of a direct question. Is President Trump more popular than the supreme leader in the world? We're not talking about in America. Asking if President Trump is more popular to Americans than the supreme leader, be asking like if to the Iranians, if the sun, you see what I'm saying? We talking about to the world. If you did a poll, if you could run an election between President Trump and the supreme leader in the world, who would win that election? Because you know what I did? I broke down China. You think President Trump will beat the supreme leader in the election in China? I don't think that's going to happen. The Chinese are sending a delegation to the supreme leader's funeral. I believe in my mind the Chinese, following their government, I believe the Chinese people, due to that, are closer with the Iranians than they are the Americans. I might be wrong. Same thing with the Russians. What about, to me, the deciding factor would be India. Because China and India host 3 billion people. That's over 30% of the world's population are in those two nations, in China and India. You see what I'm saying? So if you look at the world on the whole, I know we looked at the world on the whole, 32 nations, I believe it was Ipsos poll, and over 80% of the people said they oppose this war. And I'm talking about they're not polling the Chinese and the Russians at a large part, the Iranian allies, they polling NATO countries. They polling the Europeans. They didn't want this war. They didn't want this conflict. That's what I'm trying to tell you. So, I mean, if I just look at the whole picture, man, no American I know would be celebrating the death of what I view. I don't see how anyone, but see, this is my thing though. This is the only thing that I don't understand. This is the thing that puzzles me out of all of it. And this ain't no hate on President Trump personally. This is just what puzzles me out of this entire situation. What I don't understand is that how, like with the Iranians, like you could have so much hatred for the Iranians that you don't have for the Russians or the Chinese. That right there puzzles me. I do not get that. I don't understand that. See, listen, when President Obama was president, I remember President Obama, he was lecturing China and he was lecturing Xi. I remember that vividly. I remember President Obama, he never went to military action, but I remember he stayed lecturing Vladimir Putin and he stayed lecturing Russia. I use the word lecturing because that's Obama's style. You see what I'm saying? He a lecturer. He was lecturing. He would tell Putin, he's like, he trying to explain to Vladimir what you're doing wrong. I want to explain it to you. You see what I'm saying? But President Trump, the Fox News, they'll tell you, hey, he ain't a lecturer, he big tough guy. But is he a tough guy? Because I'm saying he calling Vladimir his friend. He said Vladimir his friend. That's what I do not understand. And I'm not blaming that on President Trump. That's a greater strategy of at least the Republican Party, because we saw George Bush do the same thing. We saw George Bush say he looked in Putin's eyes and seen his soul. So we know that's a greater, but I'm saying the same thing with China. He calling Xi his friend. That I don't understand. See, with the Democrats, I understand it more clearly because it's like their hatred is evenly distributed between China, between Russia, between North Korea, and between Iran. That's an even distribution. I don't understand President Trump acting like he Dennis Rodman and going and sitting down with that North Korea, who he called him Rocket Man. He called Kim Jong-un, whatever the dude name is, Rocket Man. And then he gonna go try to be his friend, and then the dude get a nuclear weapon. I don't understand that strategy. In my opinion, that's a failed strategy. That's bigger than President Trump. Xi ain't your friend. China ain't your friend. Putin ain't your friend. Russia ain't your friend. And in my opinion, you should just be straightforward. You should deal with them from a different perspective, not from a way to where you gonna go start a conflict with them. You ain't trying to start a conflict with them. The cost would be too high. But I'm saying, to me, you should use a Ronald Reagan style to like your conflict resolution. You see what I'm saying? You got to change that, in my opinion. But we don't want to digress too much. I just want to keep with y'all before I get to the comments. I want to keep talking about the different things that I noticed out when observing the funeral of this Iranian leader, their supreme leader. You know what I'm saying? You got hundreds of thousands. I'm saying, I think it was strategical. I use the words for the Iranians to wait to this point to have his funeral. Can anybody in the chat tell me why? Because his funeral, in the Iranians' mind, their IRGC mind, they trying to unite the nation together against the big bad devil, America. See, my daddy told you America was the big bad devil. Look at what Israel did. They killed and this little baby. See what I'm saying? I mean, how you with funerals, don't they unite? Aren't people supposed to unite? You got the slain leader, all the Iranian people coming together to mourn him. You see what I'm saying? And I think that's one of their strategies, what they're trying to do. I know one thing for certain and two things for sure. The Iranians ain't laying down in this conflict against the United States. In no way. And I'm going to just be honest with you. It's not that America can't completely destroy Iran if they had to. If America was pushed at a situation of survival, I would never want to get the United States in a situation of survival. President Trump ain't got to be the president. The United States is the only nation in world history that has ever used an atomic bomb. I will argue that the atomic bomb helped propel the United States to a superpower. The use of that weapon, and America is the only nation in the history of the world that has used that weapon on a civilization of people. You see what I'm saying? I wouldn't want to push the United States to that point, but I think it would have to be a situation of survival. You know what I'm saying? For the United States or the people of America. Man, listen, we got another stream we doing tomorrow. And we ran some polls, some aggregates of some polls, and we see that 58%, about 60% of Americans, they completely oppose any sort of military action in Iran. That's 6 out of 10 people, man. You know what I'm saying? And when you understand that, have that understanding, that is the reason why it was in President Trump's best calculation to end this conflict. Politically, the Iranians also are aware that the Americans have midterm elections where the balance of power, and it's really important for President Trump because we've seen the last time the Democrats had control. If you don't understand what that means, what happened in 2019 and 2020? And that's set on the horizon to happen again, man. So, man, it's just some things that I was looking at, you know, at the death of the supreme leader, the Iranian supreme leader, looking at his funeral, the progressions. You see what I'm saying? I want to jump down in the comments. I hope y'all talking like y'all got some sense, man, so we can have a discussion. Let's see. Sadiq says when U.S. gets to the brink of recession, they start wars to steal. You believe that, Sadiq? I'm saying that's interesting that you would say that. But I don't think what wars did the United States start to steal oil? First of all, I'm gonna tell you that Maduro had legitimate charges against him. President Trump went to a legitimate federal court in the United States and got a legitimate warrant to arrest him, in which the United States did to what other leader, and from Colombian leader, they do that all the time. You see what I'm saying? With these narco presidents down in the South America. So I'm saying this is as old as Ronald Reagan going to get a narco president from South America. So President Trump doing that to Maduro, I don't think that's to steal the oil. I'm saying, if you ask me, you don't even have to ask me. I'm telling you what's factual in this situation that we talking about with Venezuela is that the Venezuela, their technology to distribute the oil, the Venezuelans got the largest oil reserves in the world, yet and still they're not in the top 5 of the oil producers in the world because their infrastructure is so bad. In order for them to rebuild their infrastructure, that wouldn't have been done under communists, nothing. That wouldn't have been done with China or with Russia. It took the Americans. It would take, you know what I'm saying, Exxon and Chevron to agree to go into dangerous conditions in Venezuela. That ain't to steal the oil. That's you putting that oil on the world market. Once you get that infrastructure in Venezuela set up right, yeah, America make money off that oil, but the Venezuelans will make a whole lot of money off that oil too. Money that they never would have got fooling with the leader that they had. You got a biggest gold mine or gold in the whole world, and you can't even get the gold out the ground. That's what Venezuela's problem was. He can't even get the oil out the ground. They extract the oil out the ground like they producing oil in the 1990s or the early 2000s. You see what I'm saying? I'm not trying to get too complicated with it for you. I want you to understand it. But I'm saying, like, when President Trump, he just doing a favor for the Venezuelan people, really. It costs money for us to come modernize your whole system so you can see gains and you can see you can realize the vision of having the largest oil reserves in the world. You can make more money than the Iranians. Look, the Iranians jacked up, but at least they know how to sell oil. You feel what I'm saying? The Saudis, bro, they get money. Them boys driving Lamborghini in the desert, bro. The Saudi Arabia, they give their people a stipend. They give their citizens an allowance. That's all money coming from oil. Granted, there's only 32 million Saudis. You know what I'm saying? It's different. You trying to give 340 million Americans a stipend. There's only 32 million Saudis, but I'm saying that's how much Venezuela can make money like that too off of oil. But I'm saying they couldn't even. This clown. He's trying to sell drugs, and you don't even know what's going on. President Trump really not wrong for snatching Maduro. Ain't nobody was crying for Maduro, and he come out publicly saying that we gonna split the money with the oil. Ain't nobody crying about what happened in Venezuela, man. America ain't stealing no oil. Who trying to steal Iran's oil? That don't make no sense at all. President Trump want the oil to flow. You idiot. He ain't trying to steal that oil. Who trying to steal that oil? You think the Israelis are trying to steal the Iranians' oil. You think that's why they want to fight? So listen, when the supreme leader come out and he say that he believe he gonna wipe Israel off the face of the earth. And not only he's saying he gonna wipe Israel off the face of the earth, he went and go get proxy armies, spending all their money, starving their people on proxy armies that surround Israel. To the north of him, he got Hezbollah in Lebanon. Within Israel, he got Hamas in Palestine. And he got the Houthis down to the south, southeast, southwest, whatever, in Yemen. He got the nation of Israel surrounded. And he coming on TV saying he want to just forget Israel, forget Iran. What if this you in your personal life? What if you had a problem with your neighbor and he went and got all the red and they got you surrounded and you know he want to annihilate you? If you anything like Ghost, when you get a chance, you gonna get the cooking. It's either you or him. You understand that? So I'm saying, people, you just got to have the right perspective and the right understanding. That don't give Bibi Netanyahu the excuse to starve women and children under any circumstances. Under any. But I'm saying, who feel bad if they kill like that's what they doing? They at each other's neck. They two rivals. They two enemies. America's involvement in it changes everything. That's something totally different. You know what I'm saying? That's something totally different. But you saying that the United States didn't attack Iran to get no oil, that is just ridiculous. The United States had zero calculations of achieving not one barrel of oil from the nation of Iran. What oil you gonna get from the RGC? The only thing in that situation, Iran finna benefit. Iran receiving billions of dollars of their own money. Iran got sanctions. You know, Iran and OPEC. Iran amongst the world leaders in exports of oil, even with American sanctions. They selling the oil on the black market. Even with American sanctions, the Chinese and the Russians are buying that oil up. Iran ain't looking like, America ain't getting no oil from Iran. I can promise you that. Even if they took Carg Island, I don't think the Americans could. It would be too dangerous to be trying to extract oil from. And then I'm saying, what you gonna try to export the oil through that strait that the Iranians got mines in and sending Shahed drones through? It don't make no sense. America, that ain't Venezuela. You snatch Maduro, and I'm saying that's really pretty much it. Yeah, the army talking tough. Dulce Rodriguez take over. Marco Rubio pick up the phone, and that conflict over with. That conflict over with within 48 hours. I'm talking about you went and snatched the leader, and a new leader step up, and they doing everything you want them to do within 48 hours. That ain't nothing like Iran, and that might be a mistake, because he might have thought that Iran was going to be anything like Venezuela. Them people, for 48 years, they've been killing Americans. The Iranians probably killed more Americans in both Iraq wars than the Iraqis did, especially that second Iraq war. The Iranians probably killed more Americans in Afghanistan than the Taliban did. You just don't know about it. The Iranians been killing Americans for decades. When you sat down, I forgot who it was sat down. It was an American journalist sat down and talked to the supreme leader. And that man said his number one enemy was not Israel. It was the great Satan, the United States of America. He called America the great Satan. So for 47, 48 years, the Iranians been waiting for you in this scuffle. They've been waiting for you. And the only reason why the CIA didn't convince no other president to do what President Trump did is because of that Strait of Hormuz. Bro, I heard a report that I know is official and true that General Kane told President Trump about that Strait of Hormuz. I'm saying you got your own commander. Listen to me. I'm not hating on President Trump. We just got to understand what's the situation so we don't make no stupid moves moving forward. You got your own commander of the most decorated military, the most experienced, highest paid military in the world, and he telling you, he advising you. He telling you about the Strait of Hormuz. You got your own vice president that you picked. The one you picked. I could see you getting mad at what Obama's saying. You didn't pick Obama, the American people did. I could see you mad at what Hakeem Jeffries saying or what AOC or Chuck Schumer's saying, but I'm saying you picked J.D. Vance, you did. So you gonna go to J.D. Vance and you gonna ask him about this war, and he got mad because J.D. said the same thing that Tucker Carlson, Marjorie Taylor Greene, Candace Owens, you see what I'm saying? Joe Rogan, all of them. They were like, you finna fight. What? With who? Man, you know President Trump getting old. We starting to believe Gavin Newsom, man. We starting to believe my boy getting dementia, y'all. Because President Trump this morning said he's thinking about attacking Iran. What? So you got to go against everything you said, but forget what you said, because politicians always go against what they say. But you got to go against what all your people, your whole coalition that got you to this point believed in. I'm talking about Charlie Kirk coming up to the White House. Charlie Kirk coming up to the White House and telling you, that's your top advisor telling you not to do this. Who President Trump listening to? He not going against all these people. Who he listening to? Oh, Benjamin Netanyahu. It ain't no, I don't know. I can't understand that. President Trump, that's the only thing in this situation I don't understand. So that's just me answering the question. No, America's not trying to get war with Iran. Yes, America might have been on the brink of recession. America might still be on the brink of recession. But it's not because of getting oil from Iran. I promise you, the United States is not trying to get no oil from Iran, from Venezuela, from none of these countries. If you guys haven't liked the video, y'all double tap the video for me. Subscribe to the channel. We out here in the rain. People that live in NYC are in their own world. They probably are. You hear that all the time. Because I'm saying this is a world within itself. You see what I'm saying? That's big facts too, man. That's big facts. This city is a world within itself, you know? I mean, you're talking about 5 boroughs. You talk about 5 of them, okay? And let's talk about the boroughs, since somebody said that about NYC. I'm going to try to get out the rain so we could get a better picture for y'all. But let me talk about the 5. If you look at Queens, Queens would be the 3rd largest. Queens is bigger than Houston and Chicago. Brooklyn is bigger than Houston and Chicago. The Bronx is the same size as Houston. You got... Hey, let me help you out. Let me show you what. Let me tell you what kind of city we talking about. Okay, we take Los Angeles off the map. All right, and you take one borough out of New York. If you take Brooklyn out of New York, right, Brooklyn would become the 3rd largest city in America. It would be bigger than Houston and Chicago, but New York City would still be the largest city in America. Hey, New York got the 2nd, 3rd, and 4th largest cities within its borders. New York City, it's a world of its own. Not only do you have this many people, I'm talking about close to 10 million people. 10 million people, that's larger than most states. Within your city bounds, not only do you have that many people within your city bounds, you're talking about metro. So metro, you're talking about New Jersey. We say the Statue of Liberty is in New York, it's in New Jersey. The Giants, some of the sports teams from New York, they play their games in New Jersey. You see, it's quicker to get to New Jersey in some spots to get back to New York. And then the same thing in Connecticut. You talking about metro, you looking at 20, 25 million people. For real. And then let's talk about diversity. You see what I'm saying? Like, listen, up here in the Upper West Side, I think I'm going to do a vlog about it, bro. You have a lot of Jews up here. A whole lot of Jews. A lot of them on the Upper West Side. If you go to Queens, Jamaica, Queens, bro, you got a lot of Muslims. I'm talking about you can see them in full everywhere. You see what I'm saying? There's different parts of New York, how diverse it is, bro. Yeah, people, I could understand why they feel like they're in their own world. This isn't, listen, I heard something, I think Abby Phillip on CNN, she was talking about it. She was talking about, and I need to do a live stream about this to give President Trump some kind of credit. Because although President Trump is attacking, you see what I'm saying, Canada and Mexico, to me it's like he's constantly being rude to who we consider our NATO friends. Although he's attacking Canada and Mexico, you see what I'm saying? Like, I mean, like the World Cup being in the United States, what Abby brought to my attention is there's a lot of people from all over the world, and I've met some in New York, from Norway, from Canada, you see what I'm saying, from all over the world who's getting the time experience to get to see America. You see what I'm saying? They going to Miami. They going to Chicago. You see what I'm saying? Like, I don't have to go to the cities across the world. I already know this is listen, the nation, they got not only the economy, but the per capita, the people. Listen, the American people don't make more money than, there's nations in the world where the average citizen making 160,000 a year. It's not like that in America. But they only have like 3-4 million people in their country. It's very small. America has 340 million people. For a nation that big, to have the average citizen making $70,000 a year, I'm saying America's not doing too bad. I'm saying about corruption and all the other things, America is not exempt from anything, but America's better than the rest of the country. Yeah. And to hear Abby Phillips say that, especially President Trump, she didn't give him credit for the World Cup and stuff like that, but bringing people from all over the world and giving them the opportunity to experience the greatest nation on earth. Yeah, I still believe in that. I mean, you go visit the other places. They not like the United States. Listen, what's your city? Mexico City? I'm saying, what's your city? Paris? I'm saying, what's your city? Your city not like New York City. Your city not like Chicago. Your city not like LA, bro. I don't care where you go at in the world. It's America. Is it like you get comfortable with America being America, or you saying this about America? You get comfortable with it, but the facts still remain until they change. I see China trying to do a lot of things to get modern and like they trying to, but I mean, you know what I'm saying? For the time being, it's still the United States. The United States is the United States. Someone just asked me, have I been to China? No. But you know what I'm saying? I see the modernization that China's doing in their society. I see it. It's not like I'm dead to it, man. I see the modernization that China's doing. I see the integration of artificial intelligence into their society. I see it, bro. Like, I'm not stupid. Like, I'm very up on current affairs, current events. I don't just have a knowledge of history or something that is already past. I have a knowledge of politics and the working of politics, not just in America, but in different countries across the world. I see what China got going on. China's system worked pretty well. I'm not going to hate on a nation that brought 400 million people out of poverty. I can't hate on that. Even if they cheated doing it, even if they were stealing people's technology while they were doing it, I can't hate on them bringing 400 million of their own people out of poverty. But they're still not America, though. All the praise you want to give to the Chinese, they're not America. If you have liked the video, man, y'all double tap the screen for me, like the video, subscribe to the channel. Make sure y'all hit that notification bell. Guys, we doing channel memberships. This is the last month, man, that we doing the tour, man. So we got channel memberships, $2.99, man. You know what I'm saying? If you guys want to become a member of the channel, all you have to do is hit the button with the $ in it. Your donations are much appreciated. Yeah, man. You know what I'm saying? My boy W2F, he be adding them channel members, so we gotta wait for him to come in. But yeah, man, like I was saying on We the People tour, we got up to like 82 channel members. I think the highest on the Tax the Rich tour, we got to 30 channel members. But I'm not gonna lie, on the We the People tour, man, like I was bringing them content from all over America. You know what I'm saying? All my people in the South, most of my people are from the South, so a lot of them might not like New York City. They might be haters, you know what I'm saying? So they might not be as in tune or as in touch. Sassy said, New York City, you could wake up at any time and go eating, make money, go shopping, etc. And that's true. That's why they call it the city that never sleeps. You got more 24, you probably got more everything in New York, but you got more 24-hour businesses in this city than anywhere else. Sassy, we're going to go ahead and make you a moderator. Because the next thing she said, the only thing that can cripple this country is division. And I love that. You know what I'm saying? And I'm going to come back and talk on that, okay? She's 1,000% correct. That's what can cripple. That's what cripples every empire, every society. Listen, if I was the United States of America, I'm talking about the power in America, okay? We got to get to all of these ruling families, all of the billionaires, President Trump, I would get together with all of the people with the power in the United States. I'm talking about the real power. And I will include the current politicians. They need to get together and they need to see where America is at 250 years, and they need to see what the Romans did and the mistakes the Romans made, their empire fall. They need to see what the United Kingdom did and the mistakes that the English did to make their empire fall. They need to see these things. Examine these things, making the same errors, the same exact errors that were made before. That's all that's happening. Making the same exact errors. That's all we're doing. I got a live stream coming up when I'm talking about, in all these nations, you saw it throughout the Arab Spring, you're seeing it right now in America, where you have old men who are in leadership. Okay? Not hating on President Trump. President Biden was older than President Trump when he was president at the time. He's still older than President Trump. But I'm saying you got old men in leadership. And these old men be out of touch. They be out of touch with the policies of today, modernization. That's why the majority of America is not 80 years old. You got to understand that. If you look at the median age of America, they don't like fighting foreign wars in the Middle East. I guarantee you, if you had a legitimate reason to fight a war, the American people would be behind it. But they're not going to get behind you coming up with some lie or some kind of reason to try to fight a conflict in the Middle East. I'm saying, to me, that's an old man policy. That's the divide in America. It's not really it is a political divide, but it's more based in the ages of the people. You see what I'm saying? I'm talking about, you look at one thing in common with Marjorie Taylor Greene and Tucker Carlson and like, I'll even put in Nick Fuentes and Candace Owens, and you could start putting in Democrats. You could put in progressives who are not in favor of a foreign war. The thing in common between all of them is their age. It's their age. And most of the people, thank you for the donation, guys, and most of the people who want to fight the foreign war, they're old. It's the old men who want to fight. It's the old men who want to keep fighting the foreign wars. You see what I'm saying? And I do a live stream, the old men that rules and the different, and their outdated policies, those policies are not in line or not in tune with today's world. You see what I'm saying? The policies of regime change, the policies of nation building, the idea of nation building, they should take that and they should wipe that out of the human imagination. Regime change, they should write. I'm saying, like, those are yesterday's, that's yesterday's. You need young, fresh minds with young, fresh ideas on governance. And that's why you have a nation that seems like they're divided. Like all the older people, you got some younger people who gonna ride with President Trump regardless. But mainly all the older people, it's like they don't care, they don't mind. They really want to fight the war. They don't have no problem with continuing the war. A lot of older people. You see what I'm saying? But when you talk to the younger people, the thing that 50 years old, 55 years old and younger, the thing they have in common that they're going to be against the war. A lot of these people, they call it populists because a lot of them are progressives. If you listen to the Young Turks and you listen to Candace Owens, as a matter of fact, Anna had Candace Owens on the Young Turks, or Young Turks had Candace. I'm talking about you got all the way far to the right and all the way far to the left, and they talk about the things that they agree on, a conservative and a progressive, and they agree on a lot of things, but it's an age thing, man, I promise you. If you listen to JD, that's why when President Trump go to JD Vance and he asked him about the war, him and JD fell out. Not that bad, but I'm saying they disagreed. And then when BB was talking about Marco said that's BS. I don't even think he could have convinced Marco Rubio to go to war. And Marco Rubio is the establishment. He has some kind of trick up his sleeve with President Trump to where he convinced BB, I'm talking about BB, John Bolton, Lindsey Graham. You can name, don't mention the Christian pastors, because all of them believe in a complete war against Iran because they kind of loco, they kind of retarded. Listen, yeah, I'm a Christian. And I'm hating on Christian pastors. Yeah, y'all loco. They embracing the Jews more than they embrace their own religion, Christianity. Yeah, this is American Christian preachers. American Christian preachers. They're embracing the Jews more than they're embracing their own Christianity. And they completely despise the Muslims. And the reason why we completely despise the Muslims, they say, is because the Muslims don't believe in Jesus Christ. But yet and still the Jews, they believe in Jesus Christ. Tell me when the Jews started believing in Jesus Christ. I could understand that the Jews being the people of God, I understand all of that. But I'm saying the Jews don't believe in Christ either. I don't understand you embracing some other religion over your Jesus and your Christ and your Christianity, but I understand the fondness for the nation of Israel. I don't understand that level of hatred. What I'm saying, I don't understand that level of hatred for the Muslims. That I don't understand. I don't know if I will understand it. But I'm saying you done killed their daddy, supreme leader. You done bombed all their buildings, so you done gave them a legitimate reason to hate you now. Yeah, that's what has happened now. You've given the Iranians a legitimate reason to hate you. Sassy say, billionaires are the only players, let's see, they tell you to pick a side, then pit you against one another. I don't know about the only players, but I would say the billionaires are the main players. And they do tell you to pick a side, and they do pit you against one another. If you look at some of the biggest supporters of billionaires are people who don't have no money. Some of the biggest supporter of billionaires are, I'm saying, look, there's a scripture in the Bible about a beggar named Lazarus sitting at the table of a rich man begging for crumbs. He waiting for the crumbs that fell from the rich man's table. And I see that still in today's society. It's like you sitting around, they just be begging for crumbs from the rich man. You sitting around, you know what I'm saying, begging for crumbs. You know what I'm saying? Instead of us uniting, like Tucker Carlson said, smelling a revolution, us uniting. If you got politicians going against 60 or 70% of the American people, it's time to unite. That ain't nothing against you, President Trump, nothing personal. But I'm saying, listen, if you doing stuff that's going against 60 or 70% of the American people, you're not going to get people to be on your side with what you're saying and what you're doing. Who you going to get to be on your side? You got to think about that. Who you going to go to? You going to go to the Secret Service. You got to, they are among the American people, still 60 and 70%. Who you going to go to? You going to go to the military? They still getting polled and voting 60 and 70%. 60 to 70%, that's 6 out of 7 people. 6 out of 7 people, out of 10 people that you'll ask. And they're against what you're doing. You know, you inviting that revolution. Especially whenever Americans voted for the president that they thought I'm saying, listen, a lot of Muslims in Dearborn, I heard something recently. VP Harris reached out to AOC and she reached out to Mandami. You know VP Harris, she finna run for president again. You see what I'm saying? I don't know if she considering the fact that AOC might be, but you know, she might be telling AOC, Secretary of State, Vice President, who knows? If I was VP Harris, that's what I would do. I would get AOC to run for Senate, and I would tell her, if I win, you'll be Secretary of State or Vice President or something like that. Because I'm saying the progressives are going to have a very strong voice in 2028, moving forward in American politics. Okay? So look, VP Harris, she reaches out because a lot of Muslim Americans who vote Democratic, they took exception to her because they felt like she didn't stand up for the genocide that was going on, you see what I'm saying, in Palestine at that time. That's just what the Muslim Americans felt. That's what they believed. Whether or not it was true or not is something totally different. So they took it out, or they had a problem, or they were indifferent with VP Harris over the issue. So I guess her thinking about running for president again, she reaching out to them, to progressives, I guess maybe to get their endorsement or maybe to get their, you know what I'm saying, advice on how to handle those situations. You know? I mean, like, the American people, they didn't vote for her because they thought she supported, President Biden was supporting the genocide. Y'all remember the American troops setting themselves on fire? You know what I'm saying? And they felt like at least President Trump, he got the conflict over. He ended it. It felt like, you know what I'm saying? So that was big and that's huge. But now, the American people, they see that the president that they thought was going to end the wars and the conflict, that's not what it was. Or if it was, that's not what it is right now. What it is right now is we, America, is fighting a war that one of the worst that we ever started or fought it or should have fought. That's what it is right now. Sassy says Harris is the only woman person for decades who is experienced in all branches of government. Sassy, you right. I'm talking about she got, I mean, you could say really VP Harris got more experience than Hillary Clinton. That's really what you could say. She do. And that's factual. I mean, you really can say she do, because VP Harris was vice president. Hillary Clinton never been vice president. VP Harris was. So you could say that VP Harris was, what was she, Attorney General of her state? VP Harris was a senator. She got some experience now. But I'm saying, like, there are some things that she do have to tidy up that I think in the support of the progressives, in my opinion, was very much so one of the things that she really needed to tidy up. You know what I'm saying? But she's got some good progressive ideas if she uses the same ideas that she had last time when she ran for president. You know what I'm saying? She got some great ideas. You know what I'm saying? A first-time homeowner tax credit, building 3 million housing units. Just things that I would believe immediately that would give the middle class or give the lower. That's what progressives do. And I'm saying if she reaching out to Zoran, if she could build a good relationship with AOC and Zoran, I'm saying I think she'll be okay in any election that she runs. Because I know AOC was was campaigning for her last time, but still the progressives, I'm saying, I guess they didn't have enough time. AOC have to communicate that to the progressives because they're going to trust and listen to AOC, that VP Harris is one of them. They can't, I think if the Democratic Party thinks that VP Harris is establishment, the Democratic Party, they going to move away from the establishment. I just think that's factual. I think that's what they're going to do. They're going to move away from the establishment. In 2028, the Democratic Party, we're not talking about America. I think the independents, all of America going to the left. I think the Democrats going far to the left. They're going to try to bring America with them. If you guys have liked the video, y'all go ahead, double tap the screen for me. Like the video, subscribe to the channel. Make sure y'all hit that notification bell, guys. We on the upper west side of Manhattan. Almost said east side, but we on the west side, man. This the Tax the Rich tour. This episode number 73. We getting close to episode number 75. I got to do something special for y'all when we get to 75. If you guys have not liked the video, make sure y'all double tap the screen for me. Like the video, subscribe to the channel, hit that notification bell. We got an early morning rain out here. Early morning rain, guys, out here in Manhattan, New York. Somebody asked if I was homeless. I couldn't classify myself like as homeless in the state that you classify homeless. I haven't slept on the street, or I haven't slept outside like one time, you know what I'm saying? And like I said yesterday, I'm on the Upper West Side of Manhattan, and I'm sleeping in the bed every night. You know what I'm saying? I got a shower, and I'm taking a shower every day. I'm changing clothes every day. You know what I'm saying? So however you want to classify that, I just wanted to go ahead and throw that out there for the people who have legitimate questions, not the dummies who gonna continue to be dumb every day because they are dumb. That's all they could do. You know what I'm saying? Sassy says, stop believing in ideologies. You are just cog in a very well-oiled machine. Just get out there, and that is true though. You know what I'm saying, Sassy? You know, it ain't about an ideology. You know what I'm saying? Taxing the rich to me isn't an ideology, it's a plan. It's a strategy. You know what I'm saying? With the correct implementation, I think it would make the American economy boom. You got to understand this, that the rich people are the ones that are getting all the money. All the money that's being spent are basically is going to go back to a rich person. Once you understand that, you'll get that. If you give all the poor people money, if you give the middle class money when they go out and spend it, it's going to just be a circle coming back to the rich. That's going to balance or even out the system. When you give the rich people tax breaks and you starve the bottom, I'm saying all the rich people, the system's not balanced, it's not even, it's not a correct money flow ecosystem for a government. You might as well be a communist. In the extreme capitalistic society where the rich people get richer and they don't look out for the poor in their society, that society is destined to fail as well. If you had a capitalistic society who didn't say that they were Christians or didn't believe in feeding the poor and doing, that's the only way America has. Listen, if the Chinese with no religion were capitalists, then their society would be doomed to fail. I don't know if you ever hear someone give it to you like I give it to you. That's why the people who watch me. You see what I'm saying? If the Chinese were capitalists, their society would be doomed to fail. Because capitalistic societies are full of greed, corruption. You see what I'm saying? It's the Christians in America. It's mostly the middle class that's taking care and feeding the poor. The filthy rich are being filthy rich, and they're being corrupt, and they're doing what filthy rich people do. But mostly it's the middle class in America who's taking care of and feeding the poor. And that's facts. Robs, I don't know what that means and who that is. Nathan says, we are a consumer nation. They have to feed us enough money to keep the economy going. And that's facts. You see what I'm saying? Do y'all understand what I'm saying? Listen, if you give a stimulus to the middle class or to the poor people, when they go buy those Jordans, guess who getting the money? The rich people are. When they go buy a satellite dish or get cable TV, guess who getting the money? The rich people are. When they go buy a Tesla or a car, guess who getting the money? The rich people are. If the poor, this is what you don't understand. If you a rich man, or maybe some of them do, if the poor and the middle class don't have enough money, then you ain't gonna never get paid. Once you get an ecosystem, financial ecosystem, where you take all the money from the poor and the middle class, who gonna buy your shoes? Who gonna buy your clothes? Who gonna buy you can't make no money. the more money you give them. Listen, if you change this, if a Republican, I'm saying, Nick, somebody, you gotta just listen. If a Republican supported what I'm talking about and it was implemented, and I'm saying you change the tax code to 90% for billionaires and 60% for millionaires, and the everyday common man making $200,000, $300,000, $400,000 a year ain't got to pay no taxes. A man who taking care of his family, who making $100,000 a year, who paying $20,000 a year in taxes, will instantly get a $20,000 a year stimulus over the course of the year. You don't take no taxes from him out of his check, salary or hourly. No taxes. Overtime, none of that. No taxes. The taxes coming from the rich people. Yeah. America is taking if you make 10 billion, the government is taking 9 billion of your dollars. Yeah, it's robbery. The government is receiving a lot of money. You can't just take the money from the rich and then keep taking money from the poor and the middle class. No, $50,000 a year or less, you ain't paying no taxes. I'm saying you injecting money by changing that tax code, not just taxing the rich, changing the whole tax code to where the people making under 100,000, 200,000 for families, 300,000 for families, they're not paying no taxes at all. Changing that whole tax code, increasing revenue. You see what I'm saying? Listen, if you make $100,000 a year, and I ain't paying no taxes from you, I'm getting some of that money back because we gonna start charging toll roads on federal highways. Yeah, federal interstates, federal byways. We gonna start charging toll fees. Like, you just switch it up, you change it up. I'm saying that's gonna benefit and that's gonna help the majority of the people. Yeah, for a little while, Elon making 10 billion, the government taking 9 billion. So to be a billionaire, you gotta make $10 billion, not 1 billion. You got to make 10 billion to be a billionaire. Yeah, for a little while, it's going to be against the rich people. But what I'm saying, eventually, a Republican going to come get elected and he going to switch it back. And you done interjected all that money to the bottom, and Elon's still going to be rich. He's still going to be making humanoids. He's still going to have Starlink. He's still going to have X. He's still going to be making cars. And all those people who got the money, like you done went to a Bill Clinton era age, the 90s, where the middle class then expanded, and the poor people walking around with a whole bunch of money, even the poor people walking around with hundreds in their pockets. In the age of AI, it works out, I'm telling you. And when you switch it back, the rich people, you're not gonna hurt Elon by raising the taxes on billionaires. It ain't just got to be Elon. You're not hurting Jeff Bezos. You're not hurting President Trump. President Trump, he filing bankruptcies because he messed when he was in his younger years, and he was messing off his money. He was taking bad business ventures. That's why he was filing bankruptcy. It wasn't because he couldn't afford to pay taxes. That's crazy. There ain't no rich man you know who can't afford. Ain't no rich man you know. If you change the tax code, all the billionaires that you already have, you can't take their wealth from them. You get that? We just saying moving forward. We just saying moving forward. You can't make $1 billion and, you know what I'm saying, put the money in Switzerland, write it off, and pay $15,000 in taxes, if anything. Nah, you can't do that no more. If you make $1 billion, we taking 90% of that. So if you want to make $1 billion, you got to make 10 billion. That's going to lead to greater innovation. Like, think about that. I'm a hustler. This is a whole new world. And now in order to make $1 billion, you got to make 10 billion. Then I'm going to go 3 times. Look, that rich man going to have to get smarter to get more money. And that's what he going to do. He going to innovate. You see what I'm saying? Elon will find a way to make $100 billion a year. And then that'll put 10 billion in his pocket. I'm telling you, that's what's going to happen. It's going to give the government more money. The government going to innovate. It's going to expand America's soft power in the world. It's gonna give you more money towards your deficit, more money towards your entitlement programs. I'm saying I don't see how it hurts you at all. The only thing taxing the rich, the only people it really hurts is about maybe 1 million people in America. Solid million. That's the only people it'll really hurt. And the way it hurts them, it stops them from becoming the next trillionaire. You won't get your next trillionaire. You probably won't get your. It don't hurt them to the point to where they're gonna be homeless. It's not gonna hurt them to the point to where they're not gonna be able to have a private jet or drop on their yachts. They still gonna have their yachts. They still gonna have their jets. They still go. All you doing is you taking the middle class and you are expanding the middle class. The people who making $200,000, $300,000, $400,000, they don't have to pay taxes. You just expanding the middle class. That's all you doing. You don't understand that. It's less than 1,000 billionaires in America. These policies would hurt them, but it's not crippling them. They're all still going to be billionaires. You're not going to decrease the number of billionaires currently in America. You're going to decrease the number of added billionaires. You're going to stop adding all these millionaires and billionaires. What's wrong with that? We don't need all them millionaires and billionaires in our country. We don't need that. I promise you, in America, if you make $900,000 a year, you could live a really good life. If you've done that for 40 years, you'll be richer than rich. You will save your money, invested your money. You should be a billionaire by then. And you have money, you could get money in ways the government couldn't touch if they were taxing billionaires. You just got to be smart. And you'll get a billionaire's ways to innovate. The number one thing we need to do in America is change our tax code. That's the first thing we need to do. You don't need listen, I'm not doing no more I know how the progressive feels, but if you do this, I'm telling you it'll work. I don't want no more entitlement programs, no more nothing. Let's stop all of this right here. Number one, let's change that tax code. I'm telling you. I don't know the exact number, but if the United States is spending $8 trillion and they made $6 trillion, so you got a $2 trillion deficit, I'm saying when I change that tax code immediately, I'm saying it might be only $200 billion or $300 billion. I don't know the numbers. I haven't done the numbers. I know the strategy. I'm a strategist. I look at numbers to develop strategy, and I look at history, and I looked at the 50s, and I seen America, the best times in America, they had a 75% tax on a billionaire. They had a 60% tax, a 50% tax on millionaires in the 50s. And those were America's best times financially. That's how you even up the system. You got to be smarter than the fifth grader. It's an ecosystem. It's a money ecosystem. The rich man, the money goes back to the rich man regardless. What the tax rate is, how much money they have. You got 340 million people in America. All the money going back to the rich man. Google, that's the rich man. YouTube, that's the rich man. They make billions. I'm talking about billions of dollars weekly, if not daily. Yeah, the money going back to Google. The money going back to Tesla. Hold up, let me help you see it. The money going back to Acura. The money going back to Chevrolet. Who building the buildings? This is where the money going back to. The money going back to the rich man. You understand that? So the more money that poor people have, the more money that the middle class have, guess who's gonna make it? You can't get it. It's the same thing. Actually, I'm gonna tell you the difference. Y'all ready for this? If I had a higher tax rate on the billionaires and the millionaires, and you cut the taxes for the people who make a certain amount, the lowest earners, that stimulus, the billionaires and the they're gonna make more money. It's just like the healthcare system. If you don't listen, if you got a man who's poor and he can't afford health insurance before Obamacare, right? You got 33 million people who are uninsured. And I'm one of the uninsured and I'm poor. And I break my leg and I go to the hospital. You know what's gonna happen? The hospital gonna do almost the same thing for me that they gonna do for you paying that premium with Blue Cross. If I don't have insurance and my leg broke and I go to a hospital in America, they're gonna do almost the same thing. I'm gonna come out with maybe not as good a cast as you got on, but I'm gonna come out with a cast on with no insurance. You get that? With no insurance. I'm gonna come out with the same services as a person who got insurance. So who is that really helping? That's a pretty big, Miss Lori Walsh. Thank you, baby. Thank you for the donation. Baby, I hadn't seen you in here in so long, sweetheart. Thank you, thank you, thank you. If you guys have liked the video, y'all double tap the screen for me. Like, who is that? Who is that? Y'all gotta think about it. Good morning, Lori. Who is that helping? Who is that hurting? Because the hospital's not getting paid for the services. If you take it, the poor, listen, oh, we can't give health insurance to the poor. You stupid. That's 33 million people who don't have insurance, who's getting the same services from the hospital as the people who got insurance. You killing the economy. You hurting the rich people. You hurting the hospitals. You hurting the doctors. Guess what happened when you give them people insurance? Guess what happened? Now, Miss Lori, thank you for the donation, baby. It's pretty big donation, baby. Thank you. When you get them people insurance now, guess what happened? They going to the same hospitals, but now they paying for the services. They injecting millions. Obamacare injected millions of dollars into the health system. And you know what happened, John? The hospital started hiring nurses. John, you know what happened? The hospital started hiring doctors. You uplifted the economy. You didn't bring it down. When you help the poor, you're not bringing it down. If you go get that beggar money, I'm saying he gonna go buy some Nikes. Hey, Miss Lori, oh man, that is humongous donations, man. Y'all in here blessing me, Miss Morning. Thank you, Miss Lori. Miss Lori, tell them what's gonna happen, Miss Lori. When you get them, Miss Lori, look, this is what I'm saying. When they gave the donation, when they gave what was that that they just got? I'm trying to think about it. During COVID. I'm thinking about during a hurricane down in South Mississippi. Man, them black people, they got them COVID tests. How many of y'all know some got them COVID tests? Them black people got them COVID tests. Boy, they had them new flat screen TVs. Money going in the cycle. They went and bought them new. Money going in the cycle. They need satellite internet. I'm gonna go get Starlink, Eli. Money going in the cycle. The people who have more money already, who could do more stuff than the basic stuff, they want a better car. I'm gonna go buy me a Tesla. Miss Lori, she loving on me, y'all. I'm telling y'all see that 2K, that's a big donation, man. Miss Lori, that's $20, baby. I love you. I hadn't seen you in so long. Thank you so much. She says, look what happened to the people that invested with Trump. He pulled the rug right from under them. That's what Miss Sassy said. Yeah, listen, this is what I'm saying. Miss Sassy, I'm not hating on President Trump, but yeah, he did pull the rug from under some of them, not all of them. But what I'm saying is most of them business deals he did, it was in his past. To be honest with you, the man is 80 years old. And so most of them business deals he did when I was when I was in my 20s, and I know this because people they try to paint the picture of me like I'm the same person that I was when I was in my 20s. President Trump not the same person at 80 that he was in his 50s, to be honest with you. You see what I'm saying? So that's what I'm saying. Whenever I heard VP Harris, and she gotta open up the door for Ghost Rider and let me in, baby. This time you gotta let me come sit down next to you Forget what them stupid people talking about. You want to be the first woman president of the United States, VP Harris, you gotta let me come in the door so I know I could tell you some things. You see what I'm saying? Because I know what I'm talking about, y'all. I know it. She's sitting there and she harping on the fact that he filed all of those bankruptcies. But I'm saying, yeah, he did file 7 bankruptcies. But the American people, they're looking at this jet with his name on the side. How many people in the, I don't care how old the plane is, how many people in America you know that's flying around, first of all, in a Learjet? I'm talking about the ones that you know personally, that you know. How many people you know flying around in the jet? If you got rich friends, all of them ain't flying in no private jet. That's a different kind of rich. You understand that? It's a bunch of people who make $1 million a year, $1 million a year in salary. They flying first class. Or they flying company planes. You talking about your own jet, that's a different kind of rich. I'm not talking about no rapper rent no jet. I'm not talking about no rapper chartering no jet. I'm talking about you owning your own jet, and then you talking about a plane that big. Come on, man. So you got, it's what you telling the American people. Yeah, he might have filed 7 bankruptcy, but he's still doing something that most people in the world. Listen, if they say you worth $1 billion, listen to me. Because your strategists, I'm saying they need to control what you telling the American people. Because you trying to tell something to the American people that'll convince them to vote for you over him. So you talking to the American people and you telling him that he got 7 bankruptcies. But he a billionaire. And you admitting it. Listen to me. If you got $1 billion, there's less than 1,000 people in America who got $1 billion. Less than 1,000 in the whole country who got $1 billion. So even if you filed bankruptcy 1,000 times, you still in the end had $1 billion. You gotta say the stuff to the American people that they can understand and that sticks. You don't have to talk about his failed business deals. You talked about that already. Why would I run any campaign moving forward talking about a failed business deal of Donald Trump? That should be dead. No one cares. Who cares? He can't run for election again. But you could talk about the Republican Party. That's who you need to be talking about. Because that's who you got to run against in 2028. That's who you running against in 2026. It's not Donald Trump. Listen, next year, the Democrats in Congress and the Democrats in the Senate, they got a bone to pick with President Trump. Let them pick that bone. The Democrats gonna make the same mistake that they made in 2024, and you gonna get J.D. Vance elected to president if you make that same mistake. The American people, they don't want to hear about President and his failures. They want to hear about what you gonna do to fix this country. The American people want to hear about what you gonna do for them. That's just facts. What you gonna do for them? The American people, that's why the progressives are winning. Because Mandami is not talking about President Trump. Mandami is not talking about President Trump's failed business deals. That's not what Mandami is doing. You know what Mandami's doing? He's doing something for his constituents. What he said he was going to do. That's what he's doing. What he said he gonna do. If VP Harris want to call him, that's what you need to call him about. You see what I'm saying? They just wanted to see that you're gonna do what you said you're gonna do. That's it. That's all it is. Are you gonna do what you said you're gonna do? That's it. Helping the people. VP Harris, you got the right policies on helping the people. I'm going to build 3,000 new housing units. That's gonna make the rent go down. You gonna stop the businesses from price gouging. Regulations. You see what I'm saying? She got the right policies to boost the economy in America. But I'm saying we can't be talking about President Trump. We can't be talking about no bankruptcies. We can't be talking about none of this stuff to do with him in 2026. And if I help her in 2028, you can't be talking about none of it. Because see, you'll be running against J.D. Vance or Marco, those two Republicans that I like. You see what I'm saying? That I would work for if I was hired or paid. You see what I'm saying? You got to focus on the American people. Listen, the Democrats need to learn to do this. I hope Van Jones, CNN, y'all please give me one of their strategies. You got to separate what I know the Democrats in Congress are going to be on President Trump's head top. I know they are. I know they are. They have to. That's just what they do. They're going to do. They're going to get on him, and I understand that. But this is what you got to do. You got to separate what the Democrats in Congress are doing. You got to separate that from you running a campaign for the American people. When you run a campaign for the American people, you got to focus on the needs of the American people. You can't be focusing on, oh man, Miss Lori Walsh, man, she's still blessing me. That's a channel membership. I'm telling you, the young lady, she done donated a good deal of money to the channel. I appreciate you, baby. Hadn't seen you in here for a while, but she went ahead and gifted a channel membership. If any of y'all want to donate to the channel, that's the best way to donate to the channel. I guess I need to become a Democratic strategist because I'm in here getting paid this morning. I'm telling you, that's the way. That is the way that you're going to win. I know the Democrats in the Congress, in the Senate, in the House of Representatives, I know that they're going to be focused on prosecuting President Trump, Tom Homan, Kristi Noem, getting convictions or at least having a trial for the death of Renee Good and Ellis Peretti. The Democrats have focus and priorities. They're going to try to rein in a lot of his immigration. They're going to try to pretty much make him a lame duck. And I mean, it's a war coming for him in 2027. He's seen it coming, but he wanted to pick on the Democrats. You wanted to go, you know what I'm saying, stump on Harvard. You wanted to go send the military to their cities. Like, hey, that's politics. I can't. Hey, they still donate, baby. They show me so much love this morning, man. I love y'all, man. You see what I'm saying? Oh, Miss Lori, man. Dang, boy. Hey, listen, if I'm going to keep on streaming this morning, because I'm saying, man, as much as Miss Lori, I love you, baby. As much as they donate this morning, you know what I'm saying? Y'all finna give me more donations than I had in one stream in a long time, man. I appreciate y'all so much, man. If y'all hadn't liked the video, y'all please double tap the screen, subscribe to the channel, hit that notification bell. Y'all see all my day ones, man. They come up in the stream, man, and they come show your boy a bunch of love, and I appreciate that, man. Y'all, we still out here on the Upper West Side of Manhattan. Miss Lori, you hadn't been in the stream in a while. This is the Tax to Rich Tour. We on episode number 73. You know what I'm saying? Out here on the Upper West Side. Miss Lori, I've been staying out here for about 2 weeks. I stayed in Queens for about 3 weeks. It wasn't my cup of tea, so I've been in Manhattan ever since. Just need a place for my business, a Millerate Legal LLC. I got 5 cases. Well, actually 6, but 4 cases in federal court. You know what I'm saying? They active. You know what I'm saying? I got depositions. I got, you know what I'm saying, conferences with police departments, you know what I'm saying? So yeah, I got a lot of work up here in New York, so that's why I'm up here. Independent paralegal, if you guys didn't know, a Millerate Legal LLC. Miss Lori is one of my day ones. Y'all here in this noisy New York City, down here in Manhattan. Miss Lori's one of my day ones, guys. Y'all know what I'm saying? She's been supporting the channel. She says, keep moving your feet, Ghost. I appreciate it, Miss Lori. Usually when Miss Lori tell me that, that means I got to get on down to the next city or next community. Cause something in the pipeline. But Miss Lori, I'm gonna keep moving my feet, but we're gonna have to keep moving it around Manhattan, baby, because Manhattan is the place though. You know what I'm saying, Miss Lori? If that means that God gonna give me more lawsuits and more cases, I get more lawsuits and more cases. I don't have no problem with that. You know what I'm saying? I got some cases that I didn't file on my opponents, Miss Lori. I got a case in White Plains. There was a drunk detective. I haven't forgot about that. I still got all the evidence for that. You know what I'm saying? I'm not trying to fight no wars or start no drama, but Manhattan is the place where my business is going to be and operate for the current time, Miss Lori. You know what I'm saying? Baby girl, that's just what it's got to be. Just like Houston, Texas, it was just what it was. You know what I'm saying? For that time, Houston was the place I operated my business. You know what I'm saying? And Manhattan is the spot where I'm going to operate my business. And that's just what it is, y'all. If you guys haven't liked the video, y'all double tap the screen for me. Like the video, subscribe to the channel, and make sure y'all hit that notification bell, baby. It's going to be NYC. Ameliorate Legal NYC. That's what it is for all the rest of 2026. You can expect Legal Wars Live to be in NYC. I expect to start another tour. You know what I'm saying? After this tour is going to end in the beginning of August. So before this year is over, I'm going to do another tour. But what I'm saying, my business, I might as well get a P.O. box in Manhattan, down in Midtown. Might as well. It don't make sense for me not to. You see what I'm saying? Because my business, the operations, is in Manhattan. And I don't see it changing within the next 90 days. Now, if I get a $25,000 check or a $20,000 check, that's different. But for the time being, I'm doing work for my nation. I'm doing work, Miss Lori, for the state of New York. And I might end up doing work for the city of New York. I'm filing federal lawsuits. And my protest is that these individual cities, not the police academy, the individual cities are not training their residents and how to deal, or not training their officers and how to deal with their residents with disabilities. If there is a problem in your city, okay, more than likely, the majority of the police calls, the majorities of the crimes committed, or the majority of the disturbances and the disputes are by people with one or two things. Either number one, they have mental disabilities, or number two, they're on drugs. You see what I'm saying? Mental disabilities account for a lot of the policing in your community. And that's facts. And you're not training your officers on how even the rights of a disabled veteran, when they pull up on me, they don't know the rights of a disabled veteran. So I'm saying what I'm doing is a cause for the federal government. I want, just like they got a law to where you got to have a police to wear a body camera. Miss Lori, what I'm saying is I want a law that says the police should be trained. They should receive extra training from their village, from their city, from their municipality, not at the police academy. They should receive extra training on how to train their officers in disability law. And that's just facts. And I'm saying that's what I'm arguing. And I'm saying that would help 16 million veterans across the United States. I'm saying that would help all types of people. That would help millions of disabled people across the United States. I'm doing that for your community, New York City, for your community, state of New York. I'm doing it for your community wherever you are in the federal government, in the United States. And it's right here in Manhattan we doing this stuff, period. That's what it is. Miss Lori, like you said, I would love to move my feet, baby. You see what I'm saying? I would love to move my feet. Unfortunately, that's just not what we're going to be able to do. Not when it comes to Ameliorate Legal. That's not what Ameliorate Legal is going to be able to do. But like I said, I got 6 cases. I'll take 10 cases. I'm doing a deposition today. When I do this deposition, the only thing left I have to do in this case is if we go to trial. I got a case in Connecticut. They spread it out. They spread it out. I got a case in Connecticut. I already got the discovery done for that case. Already done. All I got to do is answer their discovery, do a deposition. I got a case in Peekskill. If they don't do, I'm going to file that case at the beginning of August. I got a case against Westchester County. You understand that? They spaced out. If you want to get on the list, you could get on the list. I don't care. We stand in Manhattan. That's where the business is. All you're going to do is put my cases at 10. But I'm saying this city is big enough, Manhattan, there's enough resources here, Manhattan, to where I'm going to stay here. And that's just all, that's what that's going to be. My business for the next 90 days, I foresee it. Unless I get a $20,000, $25,000 check. That'll change everything. Miss Lori said I did 9 months police academy and changed my mind during ride along. Innocent man arrested. I quit the same day. Miss Lori, I already been through that. I was an innocent man arrested. I already been through that. I was there. I'll go through it again. It's just gonna give me another case. That's all it is. There's nothing that they could do to me, Miss Lori, that they'll win. They arrested me in Connecticut for something I didn't do. The state dropped the charges. I didn't get no fees, and the police department got sued. And if the police department could wiggle out the lawsuit, I don't see how they can if the state dropped the charges. The girl who called and lied, I already got her lawsuit written. She gonna get sued. I might just sue her too as well. I'm saying, who getting the last laugh in all of these situations? To me, the reason why I say my opponents do drugs is because they're not accomplishing nothing in their attacks against me. They're not accomplishing nothing. They're losing. I'm saying, if you want to just give me money, there's easier ways, Miss Lori. Y'all, if y'all want to just give me money, y'all can give me money like Miss Lori did. Miss Lori gave me more donations at one time on this channel than anybody have, and since she last donated to this channel. So Miss Lori just wanted to give me money. If y'all want to give me money and donate and help this channel, y'all could just do it like Miss Lori just did it. You don't have to do something stupid to make me sue you. You know what I'm saying? But Miss Lori, I feel you. Move your feet. I know it's time. I'm going to go to Long Island. I'm going to go to Harlem. I'm going to go to Staten Island. And I'm going to get content. But, I mean, Midtown is just where my business going to be. That's just point blank, period. I got a business, a Miller Ray Legal LLC. People don't remember that. They forget that. I file lawsuits, and the only thing you're going to do to come against that is get more lawsuits. You're going to expand my business. You're going to give me more opportunities to get more money. That's all you're doing. So why would I ever leave? You're not making that. They're not making sense. If you study, bro, these are the biggest cases I ever had in my life. Before I came to New York, I had 3 cases in federal court at one time. I never had 4. I never had 5. I never had cases against police departments. I never had cases nowhere this big in my life. You are building my career, my future. And on top of that, I'm in New York City, the biggest city in America, in which if I had to go be a paralegal working for a business, with my experience, they saying they pay $120,000 a year. My business, a Miller Ray Legal, is in Manhattan right now. Independent paralegal, that's not going to change. All you're going to do is get sued, and I'm going to still be in Manhattan. And you're going to get sued, and I'm going to still be in Manhattan. And you're going to get sued, and I'm going to still be in Manhattan. Just like you could tow my car, and I'm going to still get my car back. You tow my car, I'm going to still get my car back. Like, you don't understand how it's going to go in the end. I don't look for momentary victories. That's what crackheads do. You understand that? A crackhead, think about what could make you do a drug that'll destroy your life. We're not talking about marijuana, where you just gonna get high and 3 hours later the high is gone, and you gotta get high and 3 hours later the high is gone, and all it does is make you want to eat and go to sleep. It make you more friendly. We're not talking about marijuana. We talking about a drug that can kill you if you take too much. We talking about a drug full of poisons and full of toxins. It's not just cocaine that come from the ground. They cutting and put rat poison and everything. What would make you do this drug? Crack. You know what would make you do it? It's because it's a temporary high. It's temporary. And I'm saying, that's why I'm saying my opponents, it's like you old politicians with your outdated policies, you old police officers, you old preachers, you old political leaders with your outdated thinking. I'm saying you like a crackhead. For real. Well, what you saying is a crackhead. It sounds like a crackhead. This is not against President Trump. I'm just trying to tell you how the rest of us young people are looking at y'all older leaders. It's like you like a crackhead. You see what I'm saying? Because you wanting to go to war with Iran, that's like a crackhead move to any of us. Think about that. Going to war with Iran, the rest of us, we look at that like that's crackhead moves. That's what crackheads do. You getting sued by people, that's like what crackheads do. That's a crackhead move. That's what I'm telling you. They moving like a crackhead. You looking for temporary, oh, I'm gonna get him to move from this place, but he gonna sue me and I gotta fight this lawsuit for 2 years and I'm gonna lose money. I'm saying that's crackhead moves. You temporary like a crackhead. That's crackhead stuff. That's what crackheads do. Temporary. They need temporary. I'm still in Manhattan. Miss Lori, no. Miss Lori been following this channel. That's my baby almost since week 1. You see what I'm saying? So this is what I'm saying. When I was in Houston, Miss Lori, they were saying move my feet. In my opinion, moving my feet was a crackhead move because this is about my business. This ain't about me. This ain't about my personal life. They do something to me bad, I'ma sue them. I'ma sue them. That ain't no problem. That's just contributing to what? My business. This about my business. Listen, Miss Lori, nothing in my life you can ask my mama have I ever done for 4 years. There's no kind of, listen, I've been a cook or a server overall in my lifetime. I could say I got probably about 17 years experience in a restaurant, but I never worked at one job, one location for 4 years ever in my life. A Miller Wright Legal was that fix. That's the fix, is a Miller Wright Legal. You see what I'm saying? That's the fix. Point blank period. It don't matter what you say. It don't matter what you do. You can have crackheads with you. You got, look, the city full of crackheads. Anybody could pay a crackhead to do something. I could do that on a fixed income. You see what I'm saying? Anybody could pay a tweaker to do something. You see what I'm saying? They giving these tweakers, they giving them $50. They giving them $100. Real talk, that don't make you powerful because you could get, yeah, real talk. What you think they giving them? This is, look, the whole circle of people that they got coming at me is a crackhead or a tweaker. Look, I could spin this camera. These regular people, they not stupid. They not crackheads. They not gonna get sued. Ain't no regular person gonna come do something stupid. They not gonna crash out. They not crash dummies. It's gonna take a crackhead. They gonna get a crackhead. They gonna get a crash dummy. They gonna get somebody down bad begging for a cheeseburger. That's who they got with them, bro. Anybody could do that. I could do that too. I'm not that concerned with you. You see what I'm saying? Because if you dealing with nothing but crackheads, you got a crackhead mentality. I don't care if you, listen, you know how many rich people do drugs? You know how many millionaires snort cocaine? You know how many billionaires snort cocaine? Preachers snort cocaine. You just don't know about it. I'm not gullible. These people moving, they acting, they hanging out, they doing business with crackheads, with tweakers. And you got a crackhead mentality coming against me trying to tell, if you think you could tell a 46-year-old what to do, you got a mentality of a crackhead. Under any circumstance. It's crackhead mentality. That explains why that people, They understand. They like say I call everybody a crackhead. It's the way they act. Bro, have you ever seen a crackhead out here or somebody who tweaking? You ever seen a tweaker? You see what I'm saying? A tweaker who want attention. You see what I'm saying? A tweaker want attention. You just a crackhead, man. You a crackhead. You just an average crackhead. It ain't nothing special about you. You got paid $20 to be a crackhead. The city full of crackheads. I could do that too. I could get a crackhead $20 too. I could get a crackhead $100 too. I could do the same thing. It ain't changing nothing that's going on. Listen, ain't nothing changing. You gotta understand that ain't nothing changing. It don't matter what you do. It don't matter what you say. Ain't nothing gonna change. This is what it is. Win, lose, or draw for me. Ain't nothing in my life changing, bruh. I'm doing a podcast.
Oh, I'm live too.
Oh, you are? You on Twitch? This on YouTube.
Where you at? What's your name? What they call you?
It's Legal Wars Live.
Legal Wars. Hey, yo, the people over here.
Look, but that's how long I've been streaming. I have more people in there, though.
Do all now. Keep rocking out. Keep rocking out. Yo, eat like the people.
Look at the donations, though. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, they donated. What's your message? What's your message? Share your message.
It's like, as politics, man, like, I believe that the American people should come together. All of us should come together. Forget Republican, forget Democrat. We should come together and take our country over. And the way we do that first is by changing the tax code. I believe, listen, if you had a problem in your personal life, we have a problem, $39 trillion debt. What's the first thing you do? You address the revenue, how you bring in revenue. Our tax code is like 90% of our revenue. That's how we need to bring in revenue. We need to change the tax code. Regular people like me and my man, we won't pay no taxes. If you make less than $300,000 a year, you shouldn't have to pay no taxes. But the millionaires and the billionaires, we got to tax the rich, man. 90% taxes on $1 billion.
Tax the rich.
Listen. If he make $10 billion, he got to give up $9 billion to the government. He only keep $1 billion. Tax the rich.
But why would you want him to give it to the government though?
Because the government. Listen, this is what I'm saying.
To the government, why not to the people?
But I know. But look, the government is the one who feeds the people. I don't care what the people say. Think about how many people get Social Security. Think about how many people get food stamps. Think about how many people get Section 8 and the vouchers. It's the government that's doing it to them. The rich people are not obligated to go help that homeless man, but the government will give them a shelter and they'll give them 3 meals a day in the shower.
They're not even doing that though.
Yeah, not like they supposed to.
You know what I mean? They're not even doing that, especially with a veteran. So, you know how many veterans I met that are homeless, sleeping in the streets of New York?
Yeah.
A lot of veterans over here homeless, sleeping in the streets of New York. So where that money going to? You know what I mean? What's up with that money? So you want to tax the rich instead of giving it to the government?
Give it to the people.
Yeah, look, every block you walk, my nigga, it's like 5 or 6 people sleeping on the floor. Hold on. Right or wrong? Now, lady, every block you walk, 5 or 6 people sleeping on the floor in every block.
At least.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So if you go down 100 blocks, whatever you tax the rich, give it to them.
So how
especially to the veterans, bro. Those that fought for us. You know?
Yeah, thank y'all for your service. Look, how do you go about? What system do you set up to where when you take the money from the rich people in taxes, that you give it to the people? Are you saying that you give it directly? Like I'm saying, you saying when you take it from them, you give it directly to them back in the income return or something?
You have to address who's going to take it from them.
Exactly. The IRS?
Who's going to take it from them?
The IRS?
They're already doing it in a way. You know what I mean?
Yeah, they are.
So it's going to be a hard way to take it from them because they got the Second Amendment.
Yeah.
So if you try to take their money,
yeah,
you know what I mean? Because they probably work hard for their money as well.
Yeah, but you do it with laws.
But if they
just like they take our money and they take our TANF and they take our benefits, with laws you vote. That's why you vote for politicians who believe in taxing them.
You know what I mean?
See what I'm saying?
But there's a lot of entrepreneurs that work hard for their money.
You don't tax them.
You don't tax them?
No, only the ultra rich. Look, it's only
rich.
It's only 800. It's less than 800 billionaires in America. Think about it. 340 million people and 8 against 800. You see what I'm saying? It's a very small. It's like a very fraction, and they got most of the money. That's what I'm saying. So look, this is what I'm saying. Those Nikes. You buy them Nikes, right? And can I ask you, first of all, you make less than $100,000 a year?
Yeah.
Okay, so look, you go buy them Nikes, right? Who gets the money? A rich man. If you go buy a Tesla, who gets the money? A rich man. If you get satellite, who gets the money? A rich man.
All that that you're highlighting are privileges and comfort.
They are.
Want to get.
They
so
are.
That man is providing it to you. You don't have to get a Tesla.
That's true. Okay. How about this? Okay, when you pay your rent, then you got to pay that, right?
Exactly.
Who gets the money? A rich man. Look, my point
why
is,
you don't become rich?
Look, listen. You know, it's harder for us. Look, the money, we weren't born with the opportunities that they have. We had to fight, bro. You know, come on. You and me, we had to fight and struggle. We had to fight and struggle for everything. We weren't born to upper. You know what I'm saying? Look, this is what I'm saying. The money cycles back to the rich man anyway. So if you take all the money from the poor people, then they can't afford to buy night. They can't. The rich men, they don't understand. There's no more money for them to get. If you change that tax code and you give the money to the poor, the rich people getting the money, it's gonna balance. It's a more balanced ecosystem. Instead of giving rich people the money, it's like top heavy. The system's top heavy. That's why our deficit, our debts go so high under President Trump, is hitting them tax breaks. But if you give the money to the poor, the rich men gonna end up with the money again anyway. Elon, you see what I'm saying? They're gonna still be rich. It's not gonna make them not rich if you raise their taxes. That's what I'm saying. All it's gonna do is help you. Because now your $100,000 job, you paying $20,000 in taxes. You don't have to pay no taxes. You got a $20,000 stimulus immediately. And Elon's still a trillionaire. He just got to work harder to make $1 billion. How's that? That's the best. I'm telling you.
Yo, what up, man? What's going on, baby? Hello, my God. How's everything? Good, baby. Everything good. I'm good to see you, my God.
What's up, bro? But don't.
Politic over here. Everything's good, man. Everything's good. How's your son doing? Everybody's good? Thank you to me. Shout out to you, man. Brother. Love.
What you think, though? What you think about that?
I agree with you, man. I agree with you, but I don't agree with you in the sense that giving it to the government.
The government should. You don't trust them.
Hell no, never to trust them niggas. You feel me? It's hard to trust them.
Gotcha.
It's better for us to do it ourselves. You feel me?
The people.
The people.
Yeah.
You feel me?
Yeah.
Individually. You feel me?
Yeah.
Individually. If you make a meal, get out there and do something by yourself. And record it as well. Let them know that you did it.
Yeah.
You feel me? Document it.
Yeah.
Everybody, you make a meal, get out there, cook for the homeless.
Yeah.
You feel me? Give them a house.
You said individually we should go and help the poor.
Individually.
But look, how
not depending on the government
to be able to do it.
Exactly.
But look, how do you do that or organize that to where you drive the responsibility for the average person to help them? Because that's what God did in the Bible with his people.
Check this out.
You see what I'm saying? How do you...
Check this out. How much have you told? You just showed me how much you made. The people been helping you out.
Yeah.
So it's a couple of dollars there, right?
Yeah.
You're making it right now.
Yeah.
So grab a few of those dollars, go buy some burgers, and give it to somebody that's hungry. That's how we do it. You feel me?
I know that.
Go feed somebody, because I'm going to do the same thing with my end.
Yeah, but look, how do we get the people? Because it's us who feed people, because we know, the ones with nothing are the ones that's helping. The middle class are the ones. The rich people, they're just buying jets. And look, I'm saying, to me, it's almost to have a system to allow them to get rich like that. It's almost a sin to me, bruh. You see what I'm saying?
Now all we can do is help and chip in.
Yeah.
We can't fight against the government.
Yeah.
You feel me? Right now, all we got to do is try to be united and share positive messages.
But we could vote for the right politicians. You voted for Mandami, and Mandami came in and helped the people.
Who told you I voted for my
look, New York City. New York City voted for Mandami. He did a rent freeze.
Yeah.
He trying to help the people. He did free daycare. You see what I'm saying? He trying to do it within 6 months. He's trying to do something for the people. Then you got these other politicians. They not doing nothing. All they doing is getting rich themselves. President Trump and them made $2 billion in a year. That's a quarter of what he made in 80 years. He made it in 1 year. But what is he doing? He ain't doing nothing for. That's what I'm saying. We could vote for politicians who got the mentality, even if they corrupt too. At least he gonna throw us a couple of cheeseburgers too. You see what I'm saying? Ghost Rider.
Ghost Rider, my
Yeah.
It's been a pleasure chopping it up with you.
All right, my boy.
Hit me up. Eli the People's
I will.
Guy. I got a podcast, so we can sit down.
What's it called?
Eli the People's Guy at gmail.com.
Eli the People's Guy at
gmail.com.
gmail.com.
We're gonna have it here.
Yeah.
Send me an email so we can have a formal sit down.
Okay, I appreciate it, my brother.
All right, my
you
guy,
take
much
it
love.
easy. Hey, y'all see that, man? I like that conversation, bro. That was a great conversation. You feel me, my boy? Hey, listen. Y'all heard him. He said text the rich. Hey, listen. That was a great conversation. Hey, listen. I know them progressives. They gotta love having me in their city, man. You know what I'm saying? I started talking about some legal wars or some legal stuff that I got going on, and my man brought me back to politics. But to me, it all goes together. It's the mentality that our leaders have. You know what I'm saying? I wish I could just have a strong enough voice to be in a position to where I could, like, listen, this podcast, if y'all, I told you, you can't listen to the live streams, probably all of them individually. But if you use AI and you go back and you go through the streams and you see the information that I had, if President Trump been following my advice, he wouldn't have no problems at all right now. He followed Charlie Kirk's advice. God sent somebody to him to the White House. He got people in his own administration. He wasn't listening to nobody in his administration. He just listened to Benjamin, and he went ahead and fought that war. You see what I'm saying? But I feel like, bro, listen, we got to give, our leaders have to have hope. How can our leaders not have hope? How can we not have hope in our country? We got to have hope for our future. You know what our man saying, listen, but look, the people are losing hope. You heard what he said. They losing hope. Republicans, Democrats, they losing hope. They keep voting for new leaders. A black man, they gonna try a woman probably. They gonna try a gay person. They losing hope, man. You know what I'm saying? VP Harris, can you deliver that hope, baby? It's gonna be between her, Governor Newsom, and I guess if AOC run, it'll be between them three. The question is, who can deliver the hope for the people? Because we losing hope. It ain't nothing against President Trump, but y'all remember when he first came in, he was talking about a stimulus. He see the stock market doing good, President Trump. Do you know that 10% of America owns 90% of the stocks? The top 10% of the wealthiest Americans, and I guarantee you that's all millionaires, own 90% of the stocks. So yeah, President Trump would tell it to Americans, that King Fire, that part of America is doing good. But what I'm trying to say is this part of America, the ones who voted for you who make less than $50,000, the disabled, the veterans, we talking about Ghost is a disabled veteran. I represent a certain class of Americans, man. You see what I'm saying? These people, they need your help. That's why they voted for President Trump. That's why they voted for him. And I'm saying they vote for you, big dog, and you become president and you do not deliver in their eyes. It don't matter about your eyes. It don't matter about your billionaire friends' eyes. It matters about the majority of the American people. You do a poll. I said 70% of the people against the Iran war. No, it's only 60% are vehemently against it. 58%. 70% of the people thinking President Trump didn't do good on the economy. That's another live stream. That's even worse. And at the same time, when you create hundreds of thousands of jobs, and at the same time, when your stock market looking that good, the reason why they thinking that is because you ain't addressing affordability like Mandami is. You're not addressing affordability. VP Harris see that. She know that this is a Democrat. They running in the Democratic Party. And she know that them progressives are going to come strong in that presidential election. So why not unite? If I was VP Harris, if I was advising you right now, I would promise that AOC will get a role at least as a Secretary of State. And if I was VP Harris, I don't care if you don't like Josh Shapiro, I would promise that he would be vice president this time. Listen to Ghostwriter this time, VP Harris. Josh Shapiro, your vice president, AOC or Secretary of State, you got to give Jasmine Crockett a high position in there too. We'll run that. That's all the ghost politics. That's all of them. All three of the female ladies. And one of them win the presidency, you know all three of them got to come. You got to give Jasmine a spot, VP Harris. And you got to give AOC a spot. Got to. And Josh Shapiro this time, we need Josh Shapiro as the vice presidential pick. Me and VP Harris, we going to fall out about that. Yeah, we need Josh Shapiro this time. We want a centrist on that ticket with you to let the American people see that. You know what I'm saying? And if I was her, I would run left. Because American people, they are going to vote for that progressive. We don't need no establishment. We need a new Democratic Party, VP Harris. And I think she could do it for us. Real talk. What, like, you'd have Nick Fuentes saying, well, he should have voted. No, VP Harris should be president. That ain't hating on President Trump. It's just President Trump. You got to stop aligning yourself with the Republican Party, and you should have kept leading. I think President Trump stopped leading, and he let Benjamin Netanyahu lead. He let Lindsey Graham and the Republicans lead, and I think that's what happened. And I think that's why we got into this situation, Sassy and King Fire. Because President Trump, when he was leading, he was making America great again. When President Trump was leading, he was no foreign wars. When President Trump was leading, that's what he was doing. You see what I'm saying? That's what President Trump was doing. But when he started letting Benjamin Netanyahu lead, I'm saying, you see where that happened. Look, Benjamin had the right, he might have the right whatever, intentions, whatever. Benjamin might have the right whatever. But what I'm saying is, if he ain't thinking about President Trump's political future, he's thinking about his own. He's not thinking about America, he's thinking about Israel. You got to understand that. Yeah, Benjamin, we walking with you, you our ally, but that's your war. You see what I'm saying? I'm not going to let you get beat up. That's how I'm going to handle my friend. I'm going to teach my little homie how to throw. Because I might need him to throw with me one day. And if it's a one-on-one fight with somebody I know you should beat, like, I'm not going to, like, jump in the fight. You see what I'm saying? I'm not going to let you get beat up, though. That's how we should approach that with Israel. The same thing we did in the 12-day war. President Trump would have been more acceptable or more liked by the Iranians if he was playing the good cop, bad cop. He was playing daddy. Israel and Iran trading strikes, America staying out of it. The only we ain't launching no offensive missions. We just shooting down everything they shooting at Israel. And Iran and Israel trading strikes, we staying out of it. And like the 12-day war, whenever it was time to stop, he told Israel to knock it off. See, you gonna get more, but that ain't what happened. But we where we are right now, bro. You know what I'm saying? I ain't gonna too bad, you know. But it is what it is, man. If y'all hadn't liked the video, y'all double tap the screen for me. It's raining out here in Manhattan, man. You know what I'm saying? We on the Upper West Side. If you guys follow the content, we just did an interview with a guy who was doing the same thing I was doing. I think he said he was either on Twitch. He said he was on Twitch, y'all, or TikTok. He was live streaming. You know what I'm saying? Just like I was. And you know what I'm saying? In the same spot I was out here in the Upper West Side. And we did an interview with him. And when he walked out, you heard me say, tax the rich. I'm going to have VP Harris running for president. Any Democratic nominee on that ticket, AOC, baby girl, they're going to be taxing, they're going to be saying tax the rich. Mr. Mayor, you hear me? Anybody on that ticket, running on that ticket for Democrat and the president in 2028, they not saying tax the rich, we kicking them to the curb. We got to change that tax code. That's what we got to do. You see this young lady right here? We got to get it to where she ain't paying no taxes. I don't know. Let me not talk too quick. She might be making 100,000. I mean, not 100,000, $1 million or so a year. You know what I'm saying? This is NYC, bro, and this is the Upper West Side, man. But the people who make less than 100,000 a year, for sure, we need to get rid of their taxes immediately. All of it. You go to work. You make less than $100,000 a year, you shouldn't have to pay no taxes at all. Immediately, get rid of their taxes. VP Harris, I promise you, with that tax plan, you're going to get all the voters who make less than $50,000 a year, you're going to get them back voting for you again, I promise you. With that tax plan, I promise you, you'll get them voting for you again. I'm saying she had a real good economic policy, just got to switch it up. If VP Harris is the pick, if AOC ain't going to run, or if AOC run, however we do it. The way Ghost going to do it, I don't care if JD Vance, I'm trying to get JD Vance to say tax the rich. JD, if you come out and say tax the rich, boy, I might ride with you. I'm saying I'm trying to get all of, we gonna get JD to say tax the rich. That's the new, we gotta change our tax code. That's the first thing we need to do. We need to make it harder to become a billionaire and a millionaire and definitely a trillionaire. Because Elon's already got the money. We don't need no more trillionaires in this world. I'm telling you, trust me with what I'm telling you. You don't want, these men get this money. Look at the Epstein list. They all billionaires and millionaires, all of them. Ain't no broke people on the Epstein list. Ain't no broke people commit corruption. All the people commit corruption. All the people on the Epstein list are millionaires and billionaires. We need to make it harder to become a millionaire or billionaire. We need to make it harder to be able to carry that influence over the people and over the government. We got to make it harder for them. Sassy says, how come they are no longer talking about the ones who tried to assassinate him? That's a great question. And I don't understand that with President Trump being the leader of the government. And I'm talking about fully prosecuting the people who attempted to assassinate you. Because President Trump, we want to see him fully prosecuted. We don't want no cover-ups. We tired of the cover-ups. We tired of y'all lying to us about who killed Charlie Kirk. We tired of all of this. JFK, Martin Luther King, Epstein files. The American people done had enough. That's why Tucker Carlson talking about revolution. And I'm saying the revolution that's going to come is in the candidate. So VP Harris, you got to change up your style, baby girl. You got to lean away from the establishment, because under Mandami, the American people believe in a revolution. If that's what they're looking for, you're going to get people like Tucker and them supporting a progressive. Because Mandami will believe in a revolution. AOC, the people will believe she bringing a revolution. She bringing change to America. Because those were the politicians, the progressives, who's always been outside the box. But they address affordability better than any other candidates do. So that's what I'm saying. That's what y'all got. We got a double header today, y'all. We streaming again today. You know what I'm saying? At, I think it is 2 p.m. We streaming again today at 2 p.m. Eastern. If you hadn't liked the video, y'all double tap the screen, subscribe to the channel, hit that notification bell. Miss Lori gave us a donation. You know what I'm saying? We got 2.1K in gifts or points or whatever. That's pretty much twice the donation up there. So that's a little bit of money. I appreciate the love. And then we got one channel membership as well. So that's a very successful day for Legal Wars Live and streaming. You know what I'm saying? For Candace, if she's seen that much donation, she'll start crying if she had to do an hour of live stream. You know what I'm saying? But for Big Ghostwriter, you know what I'm saying? I only been really doing the politics streaming for about going on 2 years this September. I still got a lot to learn, a lot to work on, a lot to get better at, but I'm still, you know what I'm saying, out here progressing myself and delivering my political message that we need to tax the rich, baby. Episode number 73, man. I love you. I love my country. I love America. We got 250 years of greatness. Ain't no nation ever been like this on the world. Listen, there's other nations like the Roman Empire, like the British Empire that dominated longer than we have. But ain't no other nation has dominated to the extent that the Americans have, to where there's no other, I mean literally, listen to me, literally, there is no other power on earth that will check the Americans. The Russians and the Chinese, y'all remember World War I and World War II, there wasn't really a dominant power like that. Everybody checking, they checking each other. But see, the Chinese and the Russians, they'll go to the Supreme Leader's funeral. But what I'm saying is they won't join the Iranians in war against the Americans. There's no country that has dominated the world stage like America. 250 years of greatness, and we praying for 250 more years of greatness. Okay? So what we talking about today, this afternoon, 2 p.m. Eastern time. So make sure you guys are subscribed. Y'all hit that notification bell if you guys love political conversations. You guys could be at work. Just put in the earbuds, you know what I'm saying, and rock with Big Ghostwriter like it was a podcast. You don't have to watch me to hear my voice, hear our discussion. You see what I'm saying? 2 p.m. Eastern time, we talking about the Supreme Leader, the new Supreme Leader. what his name is, Mojabab? I gotta go practice his name. But it's Khamenei's son, bro, the new supreme leader. His daddy dead. One of his children dead. You see what I'm saying? Family members dead. They say he's disfigured. He has not been seen. We don't know where he is. So we're going to be talking about that, whether or not I think he's alive, or is he really dead, or is he really terrified and frightened, hiding from the Americans. Bro, with the donations, I would have kept the live stream going for 3 hours today. But guys, you guys, if y'all don't know, I got some legal stuff going on. I got to conduct a deposition today. So I'm going to have to get off the live stream so I could go handle that. But like I'm saying, the donations were here. And we doing a live stream again today. That's episode number 73. This is episode number 72. If I'm not mistaken, 73. We doing it this afternoon right here on the Upper West Side in Manhattan, 2 p.m. Eastern Time. If you guys have not went and watched We the People number 8, you know what I'm saying? It's a celebration. New York City celebrating 250 years of America. You know what I'm saying? I went to the Bronx, showed you how they celebrate here in Manhattan. Went down to Midtown, showed you how they celebrate. And then, of course, you know what I'm saying, went to Brooklyn, Coney Island. My first time in Brooklyn, showed you how they celebrate. So make sure y'all go watch that. If y'all want to keep seeing Ghost Rider, y'all love hearing me talk, y'all can exit out the video right now. You know what I'm saying? Stay on the Legal Wars Live landing page and click under the video tabs. The first video there, Sweeter People number 8. Man, I love y'all. I appreciate y'all, man, showing up. Miss Lori, baby, I love you, baby. Thank you for showing up. The donations, anyone who donated, I love y'all. I appreciate y'all. Sassy Mo, y'all, see y'all this afternoon at 2 p.m. Eastern Time right here. Legal Wars Live on YouTube. Big Ghost Rider, baby, I'm out.